can I just say one thing firstly? I love the name Eat Sleep Boxing Repeat.
Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. It's me, Niall. Delighted as always to be joined by our man in the States, Thomas, and we're here for a big fight breakdown for a very fascinating super middleweight contest between a battle of the unbeatens between America's Diego Pacheco and the Frenchman, former European champion Kevin Lele Sadjo on December 13th in Stockton, California. Yeah, it's sure to be a really exciting one. There's two big punchers putting their O on the line, as they say. Thomas, someone's O has got to go. This is fascinating fight. Been looking forward to this since it was announced, really. And we were just kind of touching off camera. It's not too far from you at all, so hopefully we can see you there on Fight Night representing ESBR. It'd be amazing. But yeah, let's jump into it. Really looking forward to discussing this fight. Let's start with the American Diego Pacheco. Of course, unbeaten, big puncher, hot prospect, although you can probably say he's past the prospect stage now. What is your thoughts on Diego Pacheco as a fighter? How his career has went so far? And I suppose, as you have your feet on the ground in the States, what is the kind of nationwide perspective on Diego Pacheco and that? Could he be a future star for US boxing in your opinion? Give us your thoughts.
I think there's some questions to be had still. To be honest, this thus far, I'm not sure I've really seen anything to suggest that he's going to be some mega superstar in boxing. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's very talented, and I do think that in all likelihood, he's going to get his hands on a world title someday. I don't really know if he's like superstar stat or has the potential to be superstar status. I think a lot of that, beyond like in-ring ability has to do with charisma as well. So let's see more of him as time goes on. Maybe he can do a little bit more to generate some excitement in his career, but yeah, I think there's still some questions to be had on that for sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. Stylistically, anyway, I think there definitely is questions to be asked, but he has a lot of positive attributes. He has the size, he has the range, he has the power, he's heavy-handed. Yeah, and I suppose the thing is he's still young too, so there is a lot of potential there age-wise. But I was very curious to get your kind of thoughts on that as our man in the States, I only know him from kind of fights that I've seen him in, but I was curious to get your perception as to what he's thought of, how highly he's thought of on that side of the ocean, should I say. But yeah, he has a lot of potential. But as you say, and again, you probably know better than me, but he doesn't seem to, not that he doesn't have the charisma, but he's not one of these brash, over the top characters that we see from other fighters his age. But yeah, a lot of potential. And I have to say, I have to give him credit for taking this fight. We're going to discuss it a bit further later on in the video, obviously, but it's a really, really tough fight for Diego Pacheco. This so to take it so young, hats off to him. I'm a big fan. So yeah, before we kind of move on to Sadjo, just another question on Diego Pacheco and kind of try not to give your prediction away as a spoiler yet, but the fact he's so young, it's a very interesting super middleweight division at the minute. Of course, you've got, well, Terence Crawford now, but he won't be sticking around. You've got Canelo coming to the end. There is interesting names in that super middleweight division. The likes of Pacheco, Iglesias, Hamza Shiraz, even the likes of Sadjo and Christian and Billy. Do you think Diego Pacheco it will be kind of able to mix it with those names? When Canelo moves on, could you see him kind of vying for a top spot in that division?
Oh, absolutely. I think he's going to be right there with those guys. I think it's just a matter of whether or not he's going to be at the top. Um, I think he probably could. I don't know. I mean, either between him or Hamza Shiraz is looking pretty good. He looked really good against Berlanga. So yeah, I think I want to see these guys duke it out. I think there's a lot of fun matchups to be made at 168. And yeah, like you said, um, or I think he's gonna have lots of options and fun fights to make at 168. And I think it will be more likely now that he will get his hands on the title because Terrence Crawford, as you mentioned, is going to be moving out of the division and dropping all of his belts at some point. He already dropped one like today, so we'll see. It's only a matter of time before he drops the rest of them, and I think Diego Pacheco will eventually get his hands or at least fight for one.
Yeah, I agree. I think again he has the age to do it. He has the attributes that could do it. But as you say, hopefully these fights get made because with the names that are there, it has the potential to be a real golden age for super middleweight in a division that didn't look the strongest there for a while, outside of Canelo, of course. So, there is names there that can really take it up again to kind of a real golden kind of money weight class. So yeah, hopefully these names get in the ring with each other because there is some fascinating fights there to be made. But this one, as I say, is fascinating for me. I was really excited when this fight got announced. Kevin Lele Sadjo is the opponent on December 13th. Give us your thoughts on Kevin Lele Sadjo. What do you think of him as an opponent? And again, without giving away a spoiler, kind of what threat do you think he's going to bring to the party in your neck of the woods on December 13th?
Well, one thing's for sure, it's definitely a risky matchup for Diego Pacheco to take when he's this close to a title. You normally don't see something like that. One thing's for sure is Sadjo's going to bring the power, and that always carries an element of risk. So we'll see how Diego reacts to that. I think his chin, in all likelihood, is going to be tested. So we're going to find out about that. Um, so this is going to be a real test for him. Without giving too much away, I do think that Diego's more talented and skilled overall. But um, yeah, a very risky matchup for him.
Yeah, I agree. Big risk, but it's great to see. I think we can both agree with that. In the age of fighters ducking each other, not the best not fighting the best, although we've obviously seen it more lately with these Saudi shows, but especially for somebody so young like Diego Pacheco to take a risk, as you say, when he's so close to possibly a world title fight, to get in with somebody as dangerous as Kevin Lele Sadjo. Yeah, I think hats off to him. Hats off to both of these guys, but it's a fight I cannot wait for. And as you say, Diego Pacheco, I think undoubtedly is the more kind of well-rounded fighter than Sadjo. But that pace that Sadjo brings is absolutely unbelievable. He reminds me of his compatriot Christian and Billy. Similar stylistically, incredible endings, big power, constant volume punching, and yeah, it's certainly going to be a test for Pacheco. It really is. But before we get into kind of predictions to round things off, let's hear your kind of keys to victory for both men. Really, what do Pacheco and Sadjo have to do to kind of come out on top here in Stockton?
I think it's in all likelihood going to be a classic boxer versus puncher matchup. I think Diego Pacheco is going to have to rely more on his boxing ability, like he has his past few fights. Um, and Sadjo, on the other hand, is going to have to fight the best version of his fight possible. So yeah, I think that's really all there is to it is um, just how in, intelligently is Sadjo going to be able to cut off the ring and get to Pacheco and get that damage in? That's the real question. So we'll see.
Yeah, again, I think, you're right, Pacheco, that he has the size and the range. He's gonna have to keep it at that range, obviously, and pick Sadjo off as he's coming in. But I don't know if you if you kind of agree with me here. Pacheco is a fighter that sometimes I noticed doesn't really fight to his size. He's a fighter that likes to kind of get in sometimes and up close and kind of duke it out up close. So, he can't afford to do that against Kevin Sadjo, or else it's going to be a night of big problems. But yeah, Kevin Lele Sadjo has to get in on his chest early and get in and stay there for the whole fight. Constant punching. And I think a big factor in this fight will be the body punching of Kevin Lele Sadjo. He's an absolutely vicious body puncher. And Diego Pacheco with that long frame is going to give him a big target to aim for. So it's going to be interesting to see how Pacheco handles that. But Diego Pacheco surely is going to have success with Sadjo on the way in. He has relatively flat feet, the Frenchman, so he is going to get kind of picked off coming in. It's all about how he handles that, I suppose, and what sort of a chin he has. But yeah, Pacheco's chin is also going to get tested, you'd imagine. So yeah, it's going to be a firefight this, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. But we've come to the end, and we're wrapping up now, and it's the big one. It's prediction time. Diego Pacheco and Kevin Lele Sadjo. What is your prediction for this big, big super middleweight contest?
Yeah, I'm going with Diego Pacheco by decision. Perhaps there's a hairy moment or two in there. Maybe he gets clipped with a shot or hurt. But I do think that overall his skills and ability will be the difference maker to get him the win. So yeah, I pick Pacheco by decision. Um, yeah, I think it's going to go all 12.
Interesting, interesting. You're not gonna you're not gonna like me here, Thomas, but I'm gonna go for the. I haven't really seen the betting lines, but I'm gonna say the underdog here in Kevin Lele Sadjo. I think Sadjo gets it done. I really do. I think it's gonna be a super close fight. But as I say, that pace is just relentless. And as I say, I think body work is going to be the big key here. I think he's going to chop down that tree, chop the body, the long body of Diego Pacheco. And yeah, I just think he's going to have a bit too much for him, a bit too much resilience and a bit too much of an engine. And that power is big. So yeah, I'm going for Kevin Lele Sadjo to cause what would be an upset here. I know you're not going to like that as the local fighter Diego Pacheco, but yeah, I think it's going to be a really excellent fight, and it's one of those that if Diego Pacheco wins, I hope he gets the credit he deserves because it's a big, big win. But also, if Sadjo wins, it's not the end of the world for Diego Pacheco. He's so young that he can come back and go again. Obviously, we've seen beatings take it out of fighters at times, but it can be a big learning experience even if he does lose. But no results would really surprise me here, to be honest with you. But yeah, that was really fun. Thomas enjoyed that one. That was myself and Thomas with our big fight breakdown for a huge super middleweight contest, December 13th, Sacramento, California. Hopefully, Thomas, you'll be there for ESBR boxing. But yeah, Diego Pacheco, Kevin Lele Sadjo, myself and Thomas are split on this one. Let us know what you think in the comments. Who are you going for, Pacheco or the away fighter, Kevin Lele Sadjo? Get involved down below. And as always, don't forget to please drop a like on the video first of all. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not doing so already. We'd really appreciate it. And yeah, follow us on all social media. Thomas, it was a pleasure. Take care.
Likewise, thank you.